Hello everyone, welcome to another video of Draco Hobby Center. Today we're going to do a Pokemon deck. The idea is to start doing a lot of decks about the Pokemon meta. After the special event in Bogota, a lot of people have been asking us to do this type of content. So we're going to start today with a Mew VMax deck, which is really strong in the meta right now. And then we're also going to be doing the Turbo Lost Zone, and every other deck in the meta. So if you like that type of content, remember to subscribe and like. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start taking a look at the deck. So basically, let's start with the different Pokemon that we're playing. We played 12 Pokemon in this deck, which are the Gen 6 V, the Mew V, and the Mew VMax. And we'll go into detail of each of them. So basically, the Mew VMax is going to be our main attacker. He has the Cross Fusion Strike ability, which says attack, which says choose one of your benched Fusion Strike Pokemon and use an attack in that Pokemon's profile. And basically what we do is use Genesec's V attack most of the time, which is Technoblast, which deals 210 damage, and we can't attack next turn. So with that, we have a lot of item cards that allow us to switch the spot of the Mew VMAX so that we can attack again, and he has 0 retreat cost, so it's really easy to just bring him down to the bench, bring the Genesect up, use his ability to draw, and then just play an escape rope or play a switch card to bring up our VMAX and attack again. And then we play 4 Mew. Basically, we need Mew V to evolve into Mew VMAX, but he also has an attack that is important, which is the Psychic Leap, that allows us to shuffle this Pokemon and all attached cards into your deck. So we deal 70 damage, and if our Mew VMAX is about to be KO'd, if he has like 250 or whatever damage on him that it's going to get him KO'd next turn, we can use Mew's ability to shuffle him into the deck. We can search for him later, but then we don't lose 3 prices against our opponent. So really good way to save our Pokemon as well. And if we want to play defensive, that's a great strategy to use. So that's our 12 Pokemon. These are going to be our main attackers. Genesect V is really important because he has the following ability. That's basically how we set up our game. And it's the Fusion Strike system that says once during your turn, you may draw cards until you have as many cards in your hand as you have Fusion Strike Pokemon in play. So basically what we want to do on our first turn is fill up our bench with Fusion Strike Pokemon. So bring out all the Mew Vs, all the Genesect Vs that we can, and then use this ability every single turn to find all the items and all the cards we need to win the match. So this is a deck that's really recursive. You know, if you're having trouble with any card of your opponent, there is a way in the deck to solve it, and it's really easy to find it. Thanks to Genesect ability and thanks to the item cards we're playing. So next up, we're going to take a look at some of the supporters we play. We play 3 Judge. I really like Judge because it's really strong against some decks, especially the Turbo Lost Zone deck, because the Turbo Lost Zone draws a lot of cards and depends on having solutions in their hand. And they can basically draw a couple of cards per turn and choosing them from the top of the deck, but they don't draw as much as this Genesect deck normally. So you can use Judge, draw up to 4 cards, really affect your opponent's hand, and then just use your cards, discard down to 1 or 2 cards, and start using Genesect ability again. So it's a card that's not going to affect us as much, and it's going to disturb the opponent. So really nice card to have. If we see our opponent has 10, 12, 13 cards in hand, we just go ahead and search for a Judge, play him, and then just keep going with our game plan, but we've really affected our opponent's game plan. We use one of the supporter, his name in Spanish here, but basically what he says is draw 3 cards, and then if you drew any card this turn, your rival has to discard cards in their bench until they have 3 Pokemon. So also pretty good against those decks that need to have a full bench, even against the mirror. You know, if they have all their Genesect Vs and Mews in their bench, you go ahead and search up for this supporter in your deck, play him, and deal with a lot of your opponent's game plan. Because basically, you know, he wants to draw the 5 cards every time he uses this ability, and with by playing this card, he only gets to draw up to 4, and that really affects his game. So a one-off because you can search for him and use him when you need him, but it's pretty solid even if you just need some card draw. Up next, really important, Boss's Orders. So this is a deck that does not have a really strong attacking power at a given point in time. So it's not like you can KO anything that they put against you. So we use a lot of Boss's Orders to bring up the weak Vs and things that are going to give us 2 prices, but that we can actually easily KO. And we play 3 Boss's Orders because it's that important, and a Pulp Pad to bring up the Boss's Order from our discard pile into our deck, and so that we can search for him again and keep using him until we get our 6 prizes. So really important as well. We really want to be bring up those Luminions, even our opponent's Genesects that we can KO by using the Turbo Blast, even by having the double energy that decreases our damage. So basically, we have a 210 attack that is always going to be 190 because we're only using double turbo energy. These are the only 4 cards, energy cards in our deck. And basically what it says is that it counts as 2 special energies, but your opponent does 20 less damage. So we have 210 plus minus 20 is 190. So these are the type of Pokemon that we want to be KOing most of the time. We do have a way to deal more damage, and I'll show you that in a minute. But mostly we want the Boss's Orders to deal with these threats and these cards that really help our opponent, but also that are within the range of our attack. Up next, we have Escape Ropes and Switch cards. This is where I tell you that we can only attack once per turn, like once every other turn with Technoblast. So what we do is free retreat cost and then play Escape Rope to bring him up again so we can attack again. So that's why we play 3 of this, and basically every turn we need them and we want to be, if we want to be attacking again, we're searching for them and using them. We also play 2 Forest Sealstone. So basically, this is a deck that really wants to set up as fast as they can and then go ahead and play their Path to the Peak so that they can disrupt the opponent's game plan. So basically, what you do is first turn, you play your Genesects, you play your Battle VIP Pass to look for more Genesects and your Mews, and then basically you fill up your bench on your first turn, and then you play Path to the Peak. So basically what a first turn would look like is I play a couple of Battle BIB Pass, or I play Battle BIB Pass and some Pokeballs. Could be an Ultra Ball, could be a Nest Ball or a Feather Ball. Fill up my bench, go ahead and search up for something I need. Basically set up everything I'm going to need to start attacking next turn with my Mew VMax, and then I play Path to the Peak so that in my opponent's turn, he can't do the same thing. So it's really important in the mirror who goes first. That way you can disrupt your opponent's first turn. And that's the way you do it. Basically, you start out, fill up your bench, use all the Genesect ability before you play Path to the Peak. Because remember, your Path to the Peak will disable your Genesect V ability. So that means as long as you have this in play, you won't be drawing on your turn. So it's really important that you get all the cards you want in your hand, you put the energy in your Mew, and you're ready next turn to start KOing your opponent's Pokemon before you play Path to the Peak. If you can't do that yet, don't play the Path to the Peak yet until you're fully set up. Or unless you have a way to next turn, for example, with the Lost Vacuum, discard your Path to the Peak. So basically, that's what we play for. The way you play this is you do all your stuff. Then when you know you can't do anything else, you play Path to the Peak, and you keep a Lost Vacuum in your hand. So your opponent is still disrupted. He can't do anything his turn. Next turn, you play the Lost Vacuum as your first card. Then you do all your game plan again, and at the end, search up with a Sealstone, or basically you draw into it with a Genesect V, and play a Path to the Peak again. So that's why we play 4 Lost Vacuums, is so that we can remove our own Path to the Peak or our opponent's Path to the Peak. So there's a lot of meta decks that are playing Path to the Peak, so this is our way to remove it so that they don't destroy our game plan. So let's take a look at the Pokeballs that we're playing. We're playing 4 Ultra Balls in this deck. This is a really important card, which we normally wouldn't play if we only need to search up basic Pokemon, which is the case here. But the Ultra Ball has the fact that we have to discard 2 cards to search for a Pokemon. So we can actually look for a VMAX, but we're also getting rid of cards we don't want in our hand. So basically, that way we can activate Genex's V ability again. So if we, for example, have an extra for its Sealstone and we have a Judge that we don't need, we discard those 2, look for a Pokemon, play him, and we just got rid of 3 cards from our hand that are going to allow us to draw up to 5 or 6 Pokemon, so 6 cards in hand again. So it's really important to have cards in hand that allow you to discard those things you don't need. Also, for example, the Lost Vacuums. Sometimes you realize you're not going to need them. You don't need the Battle VIP pass after turn 1. These are cards that are really good to discard with the Ultra Ball or with a Cramomatic that does basically the same thing. You can only play him if you discard another card from your hand. Then you flip a coin and you get heads. You look for any card in your deck. So it's excellent in this deck because even if you get tails, you're getting rid of 2 cards in your hand, and then Genesect V is going to fill you up again. So it's you're searching even if you get a tails. So these are 8 cards that are really useful to getting rid of cards you don't want in your hand and activating Genesect's V ability to its max potential. So just really fast, we're playing 3 more Pokeballs. It's 2 Nest Balls and a Feather Ball. Feather Ball says you can search for any Pokemon that doesn't have a retreat cost, and those are our VMAX and our Mew V. So I'm telling you, your first turn, you need to be searching for your Genesects, you need to be searching for your Mews, so that you can set up your entire bench and then play Path to the Peak. So these 3 cards are also going to complement our Battle VIP pass, so that we can accomplish this. And now we have a bunch of cards that are, we want to search for them when we really need them. And this is where I was telling you, this is a deck that it's really, really nice because it plays solutions for a lot of decks that are in the meta. So we're playing a Fan of Waves. What it does is put a special energy that is attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon in the bottom of their deck. So basically, if we're playing ourselves or if we're playing a mirror match and we know our opponent only has an energy or basically the energy that is making him win, you go ahead and play Fan of Waves, send it to the bottom, and that's really going to help your game plan. We play 1 Roxanne. What she does is when your opponent has less than 3 prizes remaining, you can play her. Basically, what it says is that you draw 6 cards, and your opponent has to discard. Well, he discards his hand, he shovels it into his deck, and then he draws 2 cards. So you're really, really destroying his game plan. This is really good against Turbo. When I'm playing Turbo and they play Roxanne and I have 15 cards in hand, I have everything I need, and then suddenly I'm left with 2 cards in hand. It's brutal. This thing destroys your game plan. So it's really nice. Search for her when you need her, and it's really, really going to help you. We play 1 Echoing Horn. I was telling you this is a deck that has to choose its targets wisely. You don't want to be losing turns, stacking up damage in your opponent's Pokemon. You want to be using your boss's orders to kill what you can. And Echoing Horn helps us. For example, we already killed the Luminion with in a previous turn. We go ahead and Echoing Horn, bring back the Luminion, play boss's orders, bring him up, KO him. Or basically with any Pokemon that we can KO, with a Genesect, with a Mew V, etc. We play 2 choice belts because 190, as you can see, is usually not enough to KO all the Vs out there. So we want to have a choice belt so that we can deal that 220. That is kind of the sweet spot to get rid of all the Vs of our opponent. And then we play 4 power tablets that also give us those extra 30 to get rid of the things we really need to KO. So if we don't have a boss's orders, or if we really don't have an easy objective to get prizes, it's easy for us to play a couple of power tablets, draw again with Genesect, discard, search for stuff, draw again until you get the 4 power tablets in your hand, play them in the same turn, and you can even KO Pokemon VMAX in a single turn. If not, these are just going to be the way to complete to get to those 250 and be able to KO basically any Pokemon V in the game. So that's the deck. It's an amazing deck. You get a lot of draw power, and it's really good against, for example, Turbo, which is a meta deck. Turbo has a card that really, really affects us, which is the Drapion. Basically, Drapion attacks every single turn free, and can KO our Mew VMax with a single attack because of our weakness against Dark Pokemon. So we really gotta watch out for that. Basically, if we can KO him or basically deal with his play a path to the peak, that's really good because it removes his ability to attack for free, and Turbo is gonna have a hard time attaching those 4 energies to him. So this is a way to disrupt him, but just take into account that whoever plays Drapion has a really strong match against you, and that's basically the reason why Mew is not winning every single tournament like he was before. Before he was basically unstoppable. He was really nice deck, but Drapion has balanced the game out because he's strong against our psychic Pokemon and he can attack for free. So watch out for him. Take that into account. Other than that, this is the deck. Hope you enjoy it and hope you can build it, test it out, and tell me what you think down in the comments. Thank you very much. Remember to subscribe and like.